Hi guys! So Christmas is around the corner. I have been fortunate to get a little Christmas commission for a wine shop. It's not just any wine shop, I know them from years back when I did a logo for them. More about that later. The commission is to create some Christmas cards, but also cards that the shop may use for later on. And I recently learned this new printmaking technique using oil pastels, tinfoil, and a ballpoint pen. And I wanted to try that out as a medium for the cards. I'm very interested in texture and I love how little pigments play a part in an illustration. They give a lot of life and they remind me of confetti. In my first efforts, I had the idea of swimming fish amongst wine openers and bottles of wine. From this first tryout, you can tell how I've worked with a pattern of random colors, which was fun. There was one thing that was weird though, which is the kind of bleak colors, and I couldn't figure out why they were so bleak. The reason was that I was doing it wrong. What I should have done was to have the tinfoil on top of my paper and not the other way around. I blame lack of sleep for this mistake. And guess what? Just after this piece, I did the exact same thing, as I had not yet discovered my mistake. But the good thing about mistakes is that they often lead to new ideas. Thus, I came up with a cool design for some wine openers that could be fitting for another project. And my detour also gave birth to the idea of a seahorse coupled with a wine opener, and this could be another card for another project. It's always good to have something on stock. The day after realizing my mistake, I had also chosen to go away from the sea-themed design and instead play it sort of safe because I did already have a sketch with a couple from the logo hugging that would be great for a Christmas card. The couple, who some interpret as bears, some as mice, are two of my all-time favorite characters. They mean a lot to me because I invented them for the logo for the wine shop back in the days. I believe it took me well beyond 50 hours to come up with them, and I think they're a strong design and very fun to work with. I love the kind of the choppy feel of them, and also these shoes here. I've always during the past years I find it so fun to draw shoes this way. Don't know why. It's just a shape that I keep returning to. Here we see the sketched out elements for the card. So I will end up with a table, the couple hugging, and then the font of the logo beneath them. If you have like an intricate design that you wish to do using this printmaking technique, you can trace your sketch. Here I traced my sketch on top of some blue carbon paper. So this is this transfer paper. And this in turn gives this light transfer on the tinfoil. It's a bit difficult to see here on the camera, but there is this blue line here. This is also the technique I use when transferring a design for a lino cut mat, which I've made a tutorial about. Time to color in the tinfoil. I'm using a Sennelier oil pastel of the color Bordeaux, because you know, wine. The Sennelier pastel are a bit expensive, but they're so rich and fat, and I gotta admit that sometimes it's just the expensive art material that's the best. That's just how it is sometimes. Moving on to printing the couple, this time doing it the right way. Ballpoint pen on top of the tinfoil. I just can't get enough of this printing technique, and I highly recommend you to try it out one day. The line can be described as being kind of I don't know the word in English, but in Danish I would call it like woolly. It's like there's something woolly about the texture. It's not like colored pencil. It's not pastel either, but just completely has its own kind of distinguished feel and look to it. The final result here. The procedure for creating the table with wine bottles and also doing the font of the company's name was exactly the same procedure. So first tracing and then coloring in the tinfoil, and then eventually printing using the ballpoint pen to add pressure. I took the prints into Photoshop where I could arrange them, and then I could just remove a bit of the texture, just slightly a bit, and then set them up for print. And then they are ready to go for the wine shop to print and use for Christmas sale and yeah, throughout the year. I hope you enjoyed this video here. Have a good one and see you around. Have fun drawing.